Oh, yeah. As we listen to the music of Judge Chris Wood, welcome in, everyone, from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Lake Worth, Texas, as we start another edition of the Grandpa and Pappy Show, Friday style.
Happy Friday blues.
Woo, baby.
That boy can pick, can't he?
Yes, sir. He can swing an axe handle pretty good. I ain't kidding you.
Milk it straight. We'll have to get him on the show.
Holy mackerel.
Slow his roll
Judge
down
Chris
long
Wood.
enough to
A little blues to get us going. Friday edition. Great show coming up for everybody today. We're going Pappy started it. Now, I'm going to blame it on him. He started it with something on our Facebook page.
Blame it on the Flatlander.
And I kind of refined it a little bit. God dog. It just kind of blew up, I'm telling you.
He keeps me out of Facebook jail that way when he does that.
I try. Should Sharia law be allowed in the United States?
Hell,
That is the question. No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. Well, I'll tell you what, we had so many comments. We're going to dive right into them today, but it is one of those things topics that can kind of cut you to the bone sometime.
And we did. We hit on that Wednesday show. So
We did a little bit.
And like you said, we got a ton of comments.
Oh, my goodness. And there are some that we're still getting in that we had already gotten the script together. So for those that did not make this broadcast, we apologize very much for that. But, Pappy, what do you say? Let's just dive right into it. Should Sharia law be allowed in the United States? Well, Bobby Bailey said, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. And whoever gave him those words didn't either. Talking about Joe Biden.
Yep.
Now, let's preface this by saying Pappy's original text was that Joe Biden was wanting to introduce Sharia law to garner Muslim votes, to which I kind of put it, should Sharia law be allowed in the United States? Now, in all fairness to Joe Biden, what he did say, and I went back and looked it up and watched the video, Pappy, was he said he would have no objections if the Islamic religion was talked about in our schools.
Which tells you what?
Well,
I know what it said to me.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But I don't think you've pushed God out of our education system.
You can't even mutter the word God anymore.
No, you cannot.
And shame on you if you look at the American flag.
You shouldn't be able to do it with any religion then. If you talk about fair play, time about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, number two. Crickets.
Here we go.
Crickets.
I heard three crickets. Marty Blackwell answered Bobby Bailey by saying, "Oh, to the no, control and a sickness we've never seen before."
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
And as we read these, you can see some of the irritation that's coming out in some of our viewers, and we appreciate you telling us really what's on your mind. Christine Wiley thinks Joe Biden's head is so far up his rear that he has no idea what's even going on. To which Barbara Cameron Carey said he is a total traitor to our Constitution.
Pretty stout comment right there.
Pretty stout right there.
Marty Blackwell Briscoe says Obama is behind this, and you can take that to the bank.
A lot of that, I would agree with that, Marty. I would agree with that.
That's pretty much who stirred it up in the beginning. So,
our friend Bob Baker said anyone who seeks to replace the Constitution with anything else is an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Yeah. Rory Stewart said, this is what we get when we let so many Muslims into our country. Remember 9/11? I will never forget it, and I will never trust those people who are trying to bring the methods and ideology from their old country to ours. If that's so important to you, get your ass back to where you came from. You want to get Americans' dander up? Just instigate this, and you'll have more trouble than you can deal with. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much agree with you.
I do too. Rory, good post.
Yep.
Tim Randall said, hell no. And he claims to be of strict Catholic faith. What a joke.
Yeah.
Sadly, Layla Armistead agreed, or Sandy Layla Armistead agreed, saying absolutely not. This is America, and it was built on God.
And that hits the nail right on the head to where my answer is. It wasn't built on Muslim or Islamic principles. It was built on God.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Russell Carlin up in Wyoming says they're friggin' crazy. Do the women of this country have an idea what that actually means? There goes equality for women.
And you know that's right.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely right. Yeah.
Sarah Moore said Sharia law would set women back to the Stone Age. Do you want your rights taken away? Are all those marches and protests for voting rights and equality all for nothing? If they even consider it, you're going to see one mad, wild, and crazy woman come out of the woodwork and pound on your butts.
You're going to get her freak on, by God.
Woo, Sarah, just tell it like it is,
That's
girlfriend.
right. How do you really feel?
But that's so true.
Do what now, Karen?
That's so true. Women need to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, do they want to be covered head to toe with only their eyes showing? No. Not me.
There's too much cleavage being shown now.
I can think of a few of them that need to be that way.
It's craziness.
It is. It's
nuts.
It's a sick religion. It really is.
Yeah, put those burqas on here in Texas with 113 degrees.
Hell no.
It didn't work out too good for the KKK, did it?
No, not at all.
Laura McCarty Prewell said, flock him. Terry Doty says Biden is out of his mind, and Judy Guillory said he's a total traitor. Juliana Paravi said, well, the Catholic Church doesn't want him anymore either, so they got to go somewhere, I guess.
There was a lot of nopes
Yep.
posted by Mary Adams Childers,
thread.
Scott Henneman, and Andrea Jones. Rudy Torres simply said he's so full of crap and an effing sellout.
Yeah.
Now, I did change the wording on those a little bit.
Well, I can say some words.
Well.
John Stewart Price said to give him an infidel enema, and Tiffany Chestnut says there's no way in hell that's going to happen with Sharia law.
Infidel enema.
Tiffany's done her homework, hasn't she?
John, that too dadgum good. Stephanie Williams says this country was not built on that belief system. We should not be following it. And she's absolutely right.
Yeah, she is. Our buddy Jennifer Hubert Thomas, Bobby Hearn, and Eddie Dixon all said a resounding no.
Yeah, and that sentiment was echoed by Michelle Purviance Brown, Jodelle Wilder, and Mona Leverton Hardin. They said the same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Robert Shirley thinks a lot like I do. Said he's loading his gun as we speak. Chad Cooper says it's un-American, and Rusty Wheeler just said hell no.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Robert Shirley says he's loading his gun, just take it to the bank. That's right. Misty Thompson said it has already been tried in several towns and communities. Mm-hmm. Irving, Texas is the latest to try to get Sharia law instigated there, but the lady mayor of Irving had the guts to quell it. If Muslims do not like the law and constitution we Americans live by, go back to your God-forsaken countries and live in the primitive ages again. You think you left a hell where you came from? Don't get Americans riled up, or you haven't seen nothing yet. While we're at it, can we just get those Muslims out of our Congress?
By God. That I agree
Now,
with.
that would not hurt my feelings
Talk about stirring
at
a
all.
big old stink pot up. Yep. Marion Elledge said Biden is a communist. Dee Gaston said he's going to lose anyway. And Tom Coombs says he is stoking more BS. It's sad and pathetic.
Nah, he said it's sad. Nah, it's pathetic.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
That's great, Tom. Good job.
Yep.
Let's see. Stephen Patton said, we do not have a good choice on either side this year. I wish there was a good independent running. Yeah. Well, there's not.
Nope.
So you're going to have to choose between good and evil.
Well, that might
That's
be
the
down
way
the
we
road.
look at it. You know.
Barbara Cameron Carey answered Stephen Patton by saying, "You best go and vote red to save our country and Constitution, or we'll all be communist." I think that's the agenda, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Barbara Cameron Carey said Biden will stoop to all low levels to get ahead at any cost to his country. And she said he is scum.
You know, and that's what I was kind of reflective of what I was trying to say earlier about Sharia law. I mean, they're not going to get all the votes it takes to get them in the Oval Office. So, I mean, they're pulling all the tricks.
All the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, vote by mail.
Mm-hmm.
Dig them up and make them sign something.
Yeah, letting illegal aliens out of prison
Yeah.
and funding them with stimulus checks.
Yeah.
President caught that. He said, "Nah, it ain't gonna happen."
I still got a wall to
He's
build.
he did a executive order prohibiting all of that.
Yeah.
So
Ellie Powell says we all knew this was coming, and Leonard Robert Terry asked, "What, is he crazy?" No, Leonard, he's a buddy of mine up in New York. I play pool with online, known him for years.
Oh yeah,
He's a retired colonel,
Colonel
so he was an old ground pounder.
Leonard, thank you for your service,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christina Hoffman, and here we go. Boy, we've started something. Christina Hoffman said, "Abso-freaking-lutely not."
By God.
Lisa Newcomer Byram, Cindy Gale Northcutt Thomas, Ken Kaysen, Nita Britton, and Christine Wiley all agreed by saying no.
Hell to the no.
No, baby.
And Gina Power put it simply by saying, "Hell double hockey sticks no." to which Russell Wheeler agreed.
That sounds like some East Texas euphemisms there, man. I'm telling you. John Bossy, Raj Nadkarni, and Sherry Snow Bracewell all said no, not ever. Not ever.
And that's where I plant my feet, right there.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you lived let's just say you lived in a city that allowed Sharia law to govern it, what would you do?
I'd move.
You wouldn't raise your voice? You wouldn't
I'd raise my voice, then
get
I'd
an
move.
old Black Betty and go down and raise some hell?
Maybe hit the main thoroughfares and drive through a couple of crowds on my way out of town, but I wouldn't stay. I mean, I'm not. I'll never live in a major city again. You know. After 35 plus years in Houston, that told me that's not where I need to be. So.
Okay, now, explain that. I mean, you just not like the big city feel, or you don't like the way it's become diversified, or what?
All the above. Keep in mind, when I moved from Lubbock, Texas to Houston is because my pops was transferred up there.
Mm-hmm.
I was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And a lot of bright lights and all kind of younger women going on. I mean, it was a party town for me. I mean,
Texas got some good-looking women. I'll give you
Lord,
that.
yeah, so
Ooh,
many
Lord.
girls, so little time, and I pretty much stayed that way till I finally opened my eyes, got the hell out of there. Been married as many times as I have. Kind of gives you a general thought or a sense that you don't need to be there anymore. So, but no, I would never live in a metropolis or a major city again. Fort Worth is even too large for me. That's why I like where the watering hole is and where the trailer hood is. I don't mind that extra drive.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well,
yeah.
Special K and I moved here to Fort Worth from Irving.
No.
Or actually over in Valley Ranch by where the Dallas Cowboys used to have their training facility over there. And it just got so thick with Muslim population. And this is not a cut against the Muslim population, because we had some very sweet and very dear neighbors across the street from us that were Muslim. Or they may have been Hindu. Hindu? Okay.
Big difference, yeah.
But anyway, it was just getting to the point that it just too much for us to handle. Plus, at the time, I was commuting from there all the way over here to Fort Worth to work. So we just put our house up for sale, built us a new one here in Fort Worth, and I have not regretted it.
And you guys came from pretty much prior to that. I mean, in East Texas, Emory's not a thriving metropolis type city.
No, when I was there, Emory was a population of a little over 700.
Salute. We've got less than that as we speak out in the flats where the Divine One now live.
Yeah.
I think there's like 317 people out there.
Yeah.
And half of them are in a trailer hood.
So, and all of them are loaded.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They don't let cobwebs grow on their weapons at all.
I heard that.
Yep.
I heard that.
All righty. Jeffrey Castleberry says it's already here, and unless you are a Muslim, it has very little to do with you. Sharia is not a codified set of laws, but an interpretation of the Quran and a set of texts called the 40 Hadiths and other writings. Islamic scholars interpret based on individual cases and scenarios which require such. I know these things because my business partners are all Muslim and honestly some of the finest people I know. Do I agree with what they believe? No. But then again, I don't have to.
Well,
because you live in America, by God.
That's very true.
You go over there talking that stuff, and if you're not one, you'll probably be buried up to your neck, stoned to death. I mean, and this is, this is what I look at. If you're talking strictly out of the religious context, Muslims are some of the most radical people when it comes to their spiritual beliefs that have ever lived. If you don't believe me, you look in your Bible and read up on Muhammad. And bottom line, as a Christian, as a spiritual Christian, when the trumpet sounds, which side are they going to fall on?
Yeah.
Won't be ours.
We won't know until that trumpet sounds.
That's true. But it'll happen.
It will. I think it will. But I will say this. I used to work for some Muslim owners of a business that I work for.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very nice, very cordial. They did their prayers 4 times a day.
They have that right.
And I have no problems with that because I find myself saying and muttering a prayer 2 or 3 times a day anyway.
Every time I get in trouble, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
But anyway, I went with them one time. They invited me to a Saturday, which was our busy. That kind of took me by surprise. But I went with them to a mosque for a service.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman that I went with was pointing out certain people.
Mm-hmm.
FBI,
mm-hmm.
FBI.
Vice
watching
President, Democratic candidate.
watching all this. And then we came back, and he gave me a copy of the Quran to read. And I read it.
Yeah.
I read it. A lot of it, I'll say a lot of it, some of it echoes really what the Bible is saying. Almost verbatim.
Yeah.
And some of it is, I would interpret, or at least the way I interpreted it, was a little radical, should I say.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, even though, King James, not everything in King James is good. I mean, it's factual, it's fact, it's religious, it's Christianity, but not everything's good.
Mm.
Not in my opinion. I mean, read the Old Testament. It's clear.
Well, you were alternating reading between the Bible and Playboy. So.
No, I did something else.
I can see where that.
Something else with Playboys. I didn't read. I just had it for the pictures. Okay. I mean,
boy, opened up a can of worms.
Yeah. We can talk about that if you like.
Yeah, no, I think no. Diana Concannon said, hell no, not now, not ever. America better wake up. You better vote. It would be in our best interest. If you let a Democrat get into office, you can kiss your guns goodbye.
Yep.
I'm telling people, do not vote by mail if you can vote in person. It would be in your best interest.
And I absolutely agree, Diana. She's a buddy of ours up in Tennessee. I've known her for a few years on Facebook. In fact, hope you're doing well. She just had a hip replacement. So.
Oh.
That old gal's tougher than boot leather. She's out of the
Get
hospital
well,
like,
Diana.
like the next day walking around. I'm going, Jesus Christ. She's a sweetheart, yeah, and I agree. Thanks for sending that in, Di. Sherry Anderson, Laura McCarty-Preble, Roberto Guana. Is that right?
Guyana.
I'd rather say
Roberta
Guyana. And that sounds better than Guana. And Randy Northcutt all said no to Sharia law. Steve Hoffhouse said absolutely not. It is unconstitutional.
I couldn't agree with him more.
That's right.
Chuck Francie out in Campbell, Texas. Hello, Campbell, Texas.
Yeah.
Chuck says, nope, they can keep it. Just saying.
Just saying. Well said, too.
Attaboy.
And Big Billy Felton said only the parts of Sharia law that don't contradict the Constitution and law of the USA. Oh, there are no parts left that could apply. Damn. That's well said, Big
Hey,
Bill.
Bill, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Steve Nelson said this shouldn't even be a question. And I agree with him.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be thinking about it.
If it goes
At all.
If anything goes against the Constitution of the United States or contradicts the Constitution when somebody else's rights are involved, strike it.
I couldn't agree more.
Strike it. It don't need to be here. Nelda Pound Slatter, Sherry Scara, Jerry Doty, Daniel Sharp, and Bart Gregory all said no to Sharia law.
Mm-hmm. And Ginger Lynch says absolutely not. It totally goes against the United States Constitution.
By God.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, Juliana Thixton Payravi said absolutely not. I was married to an Iranian for 25 years and know whereof I speak. A man-made religion to satisfy the selfish wants of men.
Well, I guess someone who was married to a Muslim for 25 years ought to know exactly.
You'd think she knows a little something about it, and from her perspective, that's probably hitting the nail on the head. So,
well, we don't intend to stab you with a knife and pour alcohol in it, but a lot of you today showed a little anger in that, and but they were all good comments, and I do appreciate that more than you ever know.
Well, their belief, Muslim belief anyway, represents everything that Christians are against. That's why they broke out. That's why you got so many cut and picking different religions,
Well,
or forms of it.
So many branches. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some of the viewer comments that we got in.
We appreciate those comments, by the way, you guys. Once again, y'all rock. You always step up when you ask.
And we're going to ask you to step up over the weekend.
Yep.
On a program we're going to have Monday. Should Democrats run America like those in the major cities do? That's a decision you're going to have to make come November.
You know where I stand on that. So.
I do, and you know where I stand, too.
Double by God.
Uh-huh. Let's take a look at the viewer comments, Pappy, that has been sent in to us.
Alrighty.
Mary Sue Wilson commented that we should not issue any more stimulus checks, but should be encouraging Americans to go back to work. Maybe we could withhold taking payroll taxes from checks for a little while. That would increase our take-home pay. There are jobs out there, but are you too lazy to go out and find one?
Unemployment rate went up a little bit. What
did.
was it? 1.4, 1.7 million
In
new
July.
jobs?
Yeah, in July.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Just for the month of July.
Yeah.
And there again, these stimulus checks, use them for what they were designed to be used for, kind of like unemployment. You pay it in, but don't think it's going to be free.
No.
You may not have to return a stimulus loan, but it's going to cost your butt somewhere down the road. You can rest assured.
Yep,
So
somebody's got to pay for it.
if you got to have it
that's
to feed
us.
your babies and pay your bills, by all means use it.
Absolutely.
But if you need a damn new TV, get a job.
That's right.
I've got one for sale.
There you
No. Cindy Gale Northcutt Thomas commented on our term limit show by saying absolutely we should, and it should have happened a long time ago. I don't believe any politician should ever get rich at the cost of the American people. They're no better than anyone else.
That's a double by God on that one.
Yeah, they're damn near triple.
Yeah. Piper Terry, any kid,
Probably, with a name like Piper.
Yeah. Piper Terry said our show on school curriculum should be discussed further. If we look at what our kids are learning today, it includes nothing to get them ready for the real world they're going to be living in and facing.
And Piper, that's right. That's right. And that is my main concern. I mean, we're up in the age to where we don't worry near as much about what's in store for us down the road. I mean, the road is a whole lot shorter today than it was.
I worry about my
ago.
grandkids.
I worry about my 3 boys and my grandbaby.
Yeah.
I don't know what they got in store for them. But, I recall even Mom and Dad, when I was a kid, saying that. I worry about you boys and Deanne, my sister.
I do too. I remember that.
And y'all's
my
children.
dad saying that, yeah.
And y'all's children. And of course I laughed, What are you worried about? I mean, you were impervious to ignorant problems like we have today. But we were forewarned. I mean, Dad used to forewarn the hell out of us about it.
Yeah, so did mine.
Let's see. Last but not least, Mandy Shepard said on Twitter that we should just let the police do their jobs with riders and have the National Guard behind them to give them assistance when called on. I agree. Our military should be at the ready to protect our country from foreign nations wanting to invade us. In a perfect world, that's the way it would be going, Mandy. And I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Well, if you take a look, there's millions of National Guardsmen around the country.
Right.
Let our military stand ready to defend our country against foreign invasion and foreign nations.
It's just like we were talking.
That was a good post, Mandy.
It was like we were talking on Monday's show. The National Guard is trained to protect, kind of like the police. Military is trained for what? They kill you.
They kill you.
They kill you.
Thank you very much. Well, we appreciate all the viewer comments, and we encourage you to send them in.
Yep.
If you have a suggestion or an idea for a show, or generally you just want to make a comment on one of our questions of the day.
Or should you want to buy one of our groovy little T-shirts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll tell you about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a couple of ways for you to do it. You can send it in right over my shoulder to Grandpa and Pappy at gmail.com.
That's right.
Or
you can hit us up directly on our website page at www.grandpa and the letter N Pappy, grandpaandpappy.com, and you'll have a whole bunch of buttons you can push if you'll just hit that big red one. Subscribe.
Right there.
Come up with a significant password that'll you can remember, and it'll let you in, and hit the subscribe button. And while you're there, you can leave comments about anything, complaints, thumbs up, thumbs down, a show topic.
Mm-hmm.
We love it when we hit on a good show topic.
We sure do.
Because y'all come up with some doozies, that's for sure. We'd love hearing from you. We've got all the room in the world
to hear it.
Hop on.
That's it. Right. Hey, it's been a lot of fun today. On Monday, we're going to be talking about, should Democrats run America like those in the major cities do? We want to hear your comments, so be sure to send it in and let us hear what your thoughts are on that, and we'll talk about that on Monday.
And as far as show shirts, hey, represent, by God. They're available right now. Got a good deal. If you wait till they come in, you're going to have to pay shipping charges on them if you want one. But if you'll pre-order, hit me up on either our website address or Gmail, or the majority of everybody knows how to get in touch with me in Messenger or private Messenger. $20, no shipping, and I'll even throw in one of these groovy little glow-in-the-dark Grandpa and Pappy show bracelets.
And they do glow in the dark.
They do.
Yes, they do.
That's how.
We hope you enjoyed today's show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you and visiting with you.
We love what we do.
We want you to have a great weekend and a safe weekend. We always end our show by telling you to hug your children and let them know that you love them.
And let them know that the Grandpa and Pappy show loves them as well.
Absolutely. Be safe this weekend. Take care of each other.
Yeah.
And we will see you back on Monday. Until then, Pappy and I want to say thanks. God bless, and we'll see you then.
Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.